Over the next few weeks, you're gonna receive your tax refund, and there's a lot of things that you can actually do with it. A lot of people end up spending it. There are some people that use it towards their debt, and some people use it to get ahead in the future. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Ali. I'm a certified financial planner based out of Toronto. And today we're gonna talk about the best places to put your money that you're getting from your tax refund. So let's get started. Now there's a couple of places where I would put the tax refund that I would receive. At the end of the day, it's not actually a bad thing if you really want to take some time and have a little bit of fun. Just remember that the fun that you have is important for the short term, but you also have to take a look long term to better your financial situation. So if you still want to take that vacation, but make sure that you're not spending all of the money that you have, and use that to better your financial situation every single year when you receive this tax refund. If you're an individual who has credit card debt or other high interest debt, the best place for you to actually put your tax refund, at least a portion of it, should go towards the debt. By you paying down the debt, it actually saves you money on interest, which ultimately leads to more money in your pocket long term. The reason that I was saying to put a portion is, say for example, you're in a situation where you have all of this debt and you don't have an emergency fund. I would definitely say put a portion of the money that you're getting from the tax refund into a savings account where you're not going to touch it. It's only going to be used for emergency purposes. Whether that's $1,000, $2,000, however much you feel comfortable putting off to the side to give you a little sense of security. Start that emergency fund and use the remaining amount to help pay down high interest debt. So whether that's credit cards, lines of credits, student loans, car loans, anything like that, pay that down as quickly as you can. So this is going to give you a nice boost to reducing your debt, which, like I said, ultimately will lead to more money in your pocket long term. Now let's say for example you don't have any high interest debt. You may still have a mortgage, but you don't have any high interest debt like those debts I mentioned before. And let's say you already have an emergency fund. If you are in a higher tax bracket, if you're making over $115,000 a year, I would use this as a boost for your registered retirement savings plan. This is a great place for you to invest your money for retirement, but you also have to keep in mind that the money that you receive for the tax refund will actually increase your tax refund for the following year. So this is a great place to put your money if you're in a higher tax bracket. You do have to be aware of the contribution space that you have in the RSP. Make sure that you're not over contributing by putting that money into your RSP. If you don't have any contribution space left, then definitely take a look at the tax-free savings account as an alternative place for you to put your money where you could invest that money for the long term. You can use it for retirement as well, or you can use it for more short to medium term goals for the future. Now, if you're in a lower tax bracket, if you're making less than $115,000 a year, then I would probably just put that money into a tax-free savings account. It's a great place for you to actually invest your money. You can use this for the long term. A lot of times, if you actually use this for retirement purposes, it'll give you a nice boost to your retirement without having to actually increase your income, or at least taxable income, in retirement when you actually go to use it. So this would be another alternative place to definitely use it. And it's a great place for you to actually be able to grow your investments in a tax efficient manner. Now let's say for example you're in a situation where you don't want to put more money towards your retirement, you don't have any debt, and you have your emergency fund. Let's say you have kids. This might not be a bad time to actually be investing into their education savings. So if you have an RESP, a registered education savings plan for your kids, this might not be a bad time to actually put the extra money into that plan to make sure that you're actually taking full advantage of all of the contribution space that you actually have in that account for your kids. You have to remember this, all of the contributions that you're making, you will get a grant from the government. There is a maximum per year per child, but that's capped at 20% of $2,500 contributed. So that means if you're putting in $2,500 per child, you're gonna get an extra $500 contributed into that, because the government grant will actually come into play when you make that contribution. So it's not a bad place to actually put that money if you don't want to put it towards your retirement and you still haven't maxed out the registered education savings plan for your kids. Now, the very last thing that I would recommend is if you're in a situation where you don't have to save for retirement, or you've maxed out all of your retirement accounts, you've maxed out the TFSA, you don't have to save for kids' education, or you've already maxed that out, you don't have any debt, and you also have an emergency fund, that's when I would probably be taking a look at paying down the mortgage a little bit faster. Now, of course, depending on your mortgage, you're gonna have to take a look and see whether there's penalties to actually prepay into your mortgage. Also, you do have to double check to see if there's any periods of time where you can actually make additional payments without incurring any penalties. But it's definitely something that is good to consider, because if you're able to pay down, if you're able to put a lump sum payment towards your mortgage, you're ultimately lowering the interest that you're paying, because that entire lump sum payment, because it's an extra payment, goes directly towards the principal of the mortgage, which will allow you to actually pay down the mortgage a lot faster. Now keep in mind, that tax refund that you're receiving in one particular year is not going to necessarily make or break your mortgage, but you'll really notice a difference if you're doing it on a consistent basis, on a year-to-year basis. Every time you get your tax refund, if you start to allocate some of that money towards the mortgage, you're gonna see that you're actually gonna pay down the mortgage a lot quicker. So if you have a 25-year mortgage, you're gonna pay it off maybe in 20 years or 18 years or 15 years, depending on what your tax refund is. Now, of course, this will differ depending on the mortgage that you have, the circumstances of the mortgage. This is really when talking to your mortgage broker or mortgage specialist, your bank, wherever you got the mortgage from, to talk to them to see what you can actually do to get ahead in these times with the tax refund. So there you have it, guys. Those are a couple places that I would recommend putting your tax refund. Now keep in mind, for everybody, their situation is going to be a little bit different. This is just something that is to help guide you to make sure that you're making the best decision with the tax refund that you have. If you guys like this video, please leave a like. And also, if you have any questions, please leave those in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Also, if you learned something from this video, please share it with your friends and family. At the end of the day, if you learned something from this, I'm sure they will too. And it also helps me continue to make these videos for you guys, so all of this information becomes readily available to people like yourself. As always, guys, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you guys in the next one.